Hello and welcome to the announcements. I am joined today through Zoom with my good friend Josh Teeter. Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself and then we'll kind of have some small talk.
Okay, I've been in education for roughly 20 years. I was a teacher for 10. I've been an administrator for 7. I'm here at Poplar Bluff Middle School now, and I'm preparing to move up to superintendent at a neighboring district here in the Boot Heel of Missouri.
Gotcha. So, Poplar Bluff Middle School, you followed me there. I was there for a little while. I was there for 5 years. How long have you been there since then?
This is my fifth. Yeah.
It's about all you can take, but I can take. You have spent 5 years cleaning up the messes that I left for you, and I apologize for that.
No,
So,
no, it's fine.
tell me about the job you're going to.
I'm going to be the superintendent at Clarkton Schools in Clarkton, Missouri.
Clarkton, Missouri. So, about how many students are we talking?
Roughly 300 pre-K
300
through
students.
12.
And how many students do you have currently?
At the middle school right now, I have 1,000 fourth, fifth, and sixth graders.
1,000 to 300. So that's going to be like the promised land for you.
Yeah. It'll be a different challenge. Small schools definitely have a challenge.
You have to worry about finances and broken water coolers and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Awesome. So I always like to start off with a good dad joke of the day. So you got one for us?
Yeah, I do. It's a quote from the comedian Mitch Hedberg. He says, is a hippopotamus a hippopotamus or just a really cool hippopotamus?
So he's hip.
One of the funniest things there are. So.
He's a hip hippopotamus.
That's right.
Hey, so I was at a meeting the other day and I had a little joke, and it was, those exercises where you go around, you're supposed to give one word about something. So the one word that best describes me is doesn't follow directions very well. Every time you have one of those things where you give one word, someone always steps out and has like a phrase or
yeah that's a good one.
Yeah. So hey, your weird fact. I see you have a weird fact here about chess, and so you kind of like to play chess, right?
Yeah, I'm an avid chess player. Yeah.
Avid chess player. So I really don't. I am lucky to be a checkers player. Chess is too intellectual for me. So how did you get involved in being an avid chess player?
Somebody taught me when I was 10 or 11, and by the time I was 14, I went to the library in Blytheville, Arkansas, and there was a chess book and a chess magazine, and I had no idea the world of chess was out there like that. So I don't know, I just kind of got hooked, and by the time I was 14, I was beating all the adults in my life, and
Wow.
I don't know, just became a thing that I like to do. Studied it, and I take my hobbies way too serious. I can't just enjoy it. I have to stress over it and study it and get underneath it until it's not fun anymore. Yeah, and once it's not fun anymore, I stop doing it, and then
Yeah. Okay. Kind of like
back and forth. Yeah.
Kind of like being a principal at Poplar Bluff Middle School. You got it. Got that down. Let's move on to being a superintendent.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hey, so your weird fact. So tell us about it.
Weird fact, in the game of chess, the number of possible chess games is estimated to be around 10 to the 120th power, which is far greater than the estimated number of atoms in the universe. However, although that is an interesting fact.
It is an interesting fact. That's very mathematical.
Yeah, it is. Another weird fact about me is this morning, as I was leaving the house, I picked up a turtle to move him out of the driveway, and he peed on me. So
that's not very grateful. That's gratitude.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't know that turtles did that, but let me tell you, they do.
No, wait a minute. You didn't know that turtles peed?
I mean, I didn't know it came out like that. I didn't know it was like a defense mechanism. Yeah, he's trying to ask me to put him down, which he didn't realize I'm trying to save his life from motor vehicles. But anyway, he didn't appreciate my efforts, and I did not appreciate his. So
ungrateful turtle. Was he
agreed we parted ways?
Was he wearing a bandana or anything like that?
Yeah, I think this was the orange one with the nunchucks. So
yeah, the orange one is
Michelangelo.
Yeah, he's the one who likes pizza, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right, and red one is Raphael.
I think so. Yeah, and the
And
blue is Leonardo.
and then purple is Donatello, right?
Donatello, that's right.
I
Yeah.
had kids. I know the Ninja Turtles.
Oh man, I grew up with the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Hey, so one of the things that I always like to do is have my guests talk a little bit about their Mount Rushmore of people. So Mount Rushmore is, of course, 4 famous people on Mount Rushmore. Give me one edu hero, one colleague, one mentor, and one non-educator that you would fit into those categories. And this is a perfect example of how some people like to cheat and do more than one. But I see on your list, you have one. You're on track.
Yeah, no, I'm a rule follower. Okay, so my one edgy hero is Mike Matos. Since studying the learn by doing process and implementing PLCs, I've read a lot of his work, and he's an edgy hero because he struggled as a learner. He struggled with his own learning, and he applied a lot of the things in his life to changing the schools that he's involved in. Of course, when he connected with Rick DeFore and that group, he implemented the current PLC processes, this common formative assessments, and really he just changed the way I look at data and how to actually not just collect and analyze the data, but use that data to move your needle in your school.
Now, have you heard him speak? Have you met him?
Oh yeah, multiple times. Yeah.
Now, did we have him there in Poplar Bluff?
We have not. I've been going to the Learn by Doing PLC conferences. So, we're here with Poplar Bluff, and I don't know if we're doing it this year, but I've seen him speak 4 or 5 times, and I've been to a lot of his sessions, and even had just good conversation with him. Yeah, he's such a nice guy, and he's inspiring, and he just really knows how to make data usable. We're good at collecting and analyzing, but when it actually comes to changing your actions in a positive way to improve outcomes for students, that's the hard part. And I think I learned that from him. So
that's a where the rubber meets the road kind of thing.
Yeah.
That, I think any leader struggles with is, what do you do with data? You got all the data. I think I've heard it termed, we are data rich and information poor. So we got lots of, but we don't know what to do with it. We don't have the information we need from it. And so Mike Matos, we just for you, those of you out there, we are not sponsored by Solution Tree or Mike Matos. Although if they would like to pick us up, that would be perfect. So we'll have to tag him in when I post this.
Oh yeah, do so.
Normally I post it just on Facebook, but lately I've been putting him on Twitter so that I can tag a few people in it. So we'll tag him. So that's an edu hero. How about a colleague?
Yeah, the colleague I chose from on Mount Rushmore is Mr. Charles Kinsey. He is currently the superintendent of finance here in Poplar Bluff.
Money man.
Yeah, he is a great man. He's so knowledgeable. And as I'm transitioning into the role of superintendent, you can't have enough good finance people out there in your corner to teach you and show you the ways of the Jedi. So, and he's definitely done so. He's always quick to answer the phone, and you shoot him a text, and man, he comes with 2 or 3 different solutions and all this know-how that he's gained in his years. So I really appreciate Charles.
And also a super nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Yeah, he's funny. He got an impeccable Donald Trump impression. That's really funny. So
well, and with Donald Trump in charge, you need someone who knows how to handle the money, because you don't know what you're getting. I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we don't. We don't.
All right. How about a mentor?
My mentor when I came to Poplar Bluff was Candace Warren, and she's been a great mentor. Although I've been an administrator for a year longer than her, I came from a small school, and she was here in this enormous school district, and she's always been a good mentor for me, just showing me the ropes. I was her assistant principal for 2 years. I did the discipline, and she did the fun stuff, and we really meshed. We know. She and I got together and made school fun, or tried to make school fun at the junior high. We were always doing fun things, and she was always making me dress up in costumes and sing songs in front of the staff and students. And I think she has got a good head on her shoulders, and she keeps the the excitement of the building in the forefront of her mind. And I think that sometimes as a principal, you can forget that school should be fun for staff and students, not just, day to day rigmarole.
Yeah, I think Candace is a fantastic culture builder. Her culture there at the junior high is, she's worked really hard to get it to where it is, and is a great mentor. She does the fun stuff. You do the discipline. That's what I heard you say there.
That's right. That's what I did.
So now that you're in the chair to do the fun stuff, do you dress up? Are you doing the same things?
A lot. Similar. I didn't do as much this year, but in the past, first day of school, I dressed up like Elvis. I dressed up. We did an '80s theme one year. Yeah. So I had the mullet and the jean jacket.
Did you have a mullet when you were in high school?
No, they were kind of. I graduated in '96, so we were well into the alternative grunge. We did the grunge thing. The '80s had kind of gone away, but yeah.
Hey, so while I was there at Poplar Bluff Middle School, I had a fire truck come and dump a big bucket of green slime on my head. You ever do anything like that?
No, I hadn't heard about that. That's awesome.
My assistants took great pleasure in doing that. And then when we were done dumping the slime on my head, they used a fire hose to rinse me off. They loved that part too. So the things that principals do. So,
no joke.
Candace Warren. I don't know if she's ever had slime dumped on her either, but let's just throw that out there that she should.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time for her to get slimed.
Yeah. Okay,
how about your non-educator?
My non-educator, I picked Rudy Rudiger. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a motivational speaker now, but he was depicted in the movie Rudy with, what's his name? The guy from Lord of the Rings, Sean something.
Sean Astin?
Astin, yeah, that's it. Yeah. That story has always been inspiring to me, just with his effort and his grit and his determination, which is a lot of what we're going to talk about when it comes to the non-cognitive characteristics. But he went to a small school, that he suffered from dyslexia, undiagnosed, had learning disabilities, and he had a dream of course, playing football for Notre Dame. And I think if you read his story or watch that movie and think this is a football movie, I really think you've missed out, because a child who
more than football
likely would not have gotten to go to college otherwise, but his grit and determination not only got him into a community college, it got him into Notre Dame, and where he graduated with a bachelor's and eventually a master's degree. Football aside, I think that story is a success story because of just his resilience and absolute push.
Absolutely. Hey, so what's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you as a principal?
Well, as you know, we are infested with bats at some times of the year, it seems, and we had a bat in the hallway, which was a common occurrence. Really wasn't a big deal, but this bat had my number, much like the turtle this morning, and he didn't pee on me, but he chased me.
Yeah.
And I dove.
But did you run away from him?
I hit the deck,
Is this on video somewhere?
It was. Tatum Lawrence is laying on her back, the counselor. She is just laughing.
I think I could insert that into this blog, this podcast.
Yeah, and then when I stood up, he chased me again. It's like he didn't like me. Of all the staff members out there to not like, he chose me to not like. And
I will say that I actually had a bat issue in Poplar Bluff as well. There was a bat flying up and down the hallways. The hallways are super long at the Poplar Bluff Middle School. I was trying to catch this bat, and I followed it all the way through the school. I finally we were in the gym. We started off in the 4th grade hallway. We ended up in the gym. That's how far I followed it. And I had found a mesh bag. And so when the bat would fly by, I would try and throw the bag on it like a net to catch it. And finally, I think I wore him down. So I finally caught him with this mesh bag.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, it's not as bad. We had some exterminators come and fill some holes and do some things like that. So
that bat's not messing with you anymore.
No, I took action quickly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, I see you put a quote of the day on here. What's your quote that you want to?
Yeah, well, here at the middle school, we do, I do announcements every morning, and I do a growth mindset thought of the day. I always end of the day with some type of growth mindset quote or kindness quote. And this one I liked. It's about effort. It says, "Don't decrease the goal, increase the effort."
Got it. Got it. So that's good.
It's important in education. Sometimes we want to maybe decrease the rigor to see more academic success, but in my opinion, that's not success.
No, we need to increase the resilience to achieve.
That's right.
Yeah, awesome. So that brings us kind of to what we're going to talk about. You have it labeled as non-cognitive characteristics, which I got to admit, when I saw that, I'm like, I don't know what the heck he's talking about. But they're commonly known as soft skills.
Soft skills, yeah. Character traits.
Right.
I think in the world of social emotional learning, you have so many of these types of terminologies that they can kind of blend, and it can get kind of confusing. So,
yeah.
You have things that were more related to the emotional side of learning, the social emotional, and then you have some that are related more to the academic and cognitive side. But then there's some that kind of fall in the middle that they're not really related to SEL or cognitive. And
Right.
In my research, my dissertation, I found those were commonly referred to in the world of academia as non-cognitive characteristics.
They just don't really fit either category, and they're really kind of hard to measure.
Very hard to measure. Yeah, typically these are measured through some type of self-reflective survey. You answer questions about yourself. I think the most famous one is probably Carol Dweck's growth mindset measurement tool, and then Dr. Angela Duckworth out of Penn State came up with the grit measurement surveys, two different types.
Yeah. So I always talk about, what is it? That's what it is. What does it look like? As far as a leader or being in a school, what does this look like? And lastly, how do I, as a leader, do it? How do I help kids increase their non-cognitive skills?
Yeah, it is tough, and I think honestly, a lot of this should start at a very early age, at home. Obviously, families and parents are the frontline defense there for children.
Teachers.
Yeah, and then teachers as well, to teach these character traits. Things like mindset types, growth mindset versus fixed mindset, where a growth mindset person sees a failed attempt as an opportunity, where a person with a fixed mindset may believe, I'm as smart as I'm ever going to be. Nothing I do is going to change
Right.
My ability. So why try any harder? And a growth mindset person has more of an opinion that learning is malleable and can stretch and change over time.
Sure.
So things like self-efficacy, locus of control. Does a student or a person feel like they have the internal ability to change themselves, or is it all external factors? Self-esteem, effort, resilience, what Dr. Duckworth calls grit, to name a few. And those are the traits not directly related to, a cognitive nature, but in many cases have been shown to be even more significant when impacting success as cognitive traits like natural intelligence, talent, and giftedness.
Mm-hmm.
So the most famous study of this is they went to West Point and conducted various resilience and perseverance measures, and they found that at West Point, during that year at least, cadets that had a higher grit level were more likely to be successful at West Point than those that were naturally strong, naturally intelligent. Those students did not do as well as students that were, less academically able. And they also did this with the spelling bee. It was the National Script Spelling Bee, the kids that make it, to the televised Washington D.C. round. Those students were measured, and those students It was found that the students who put forth more effort and had a more resilience, kept a growth mindset, those students were found to be more successful than students that were just naturally gifted at spelling.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I've had to hire a lot of teachers over my time. And I know there at Poplar Bluff Middle School, you're always having to fill positions as well. And I have always said that I would much rather hire a teacher that has a growth mindset, that is there to learn and get better, than someone who knows the content, because we can teach them the content, but you can't teach someone how to get along sometimes. And so, or you don't want to have to teach an adult how to get along. So
Right.
I think those non-cognitive characteristics are that's what I would look for in a person to hire. So if you're looking for a job, you need to develop those.
Right. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
So what does it look like? It depends on which non-cognitive characteristic you're looking at. They can look differently within each individual.
Yep.
I think what I found most interesting is, in addition to how they manifest individually, the traits can combine with each other to strengthen each other. So, for instance, a student who develops a growth mindset may also develop a stronger self-efficacy, because that growth mindset has taught them that if I continue to work and use these failed attempts at whatever I'm doing as a learning experience, I will be able to eventually produce a successful outcome. So, a person with a fixed mindset may also suffer from a low self-efficacy.
Yep.
Also, for another example, how students with different mindsets view challenges, failures, learning deficiencies likely can determine the amount of effort they put forward. So I think in students, sometimes when you have a student that's not putting forth a lot of effort, it could be because they feel like no matter what they're going to try, or how much effort they put forth, the outcome is going to be the same. So if you can change that mindset, you may inadvertently change that effort output.
Right. And so that's a tough one. So how do I, as a leader, get teachers, or as a teacher, how do I change that mindset? How can I provide those little wins for a kid to start learning that, hey, what they are doing is going to matter and they can learn and grow?
Yeah, I think, a lot of schools right now, I say a lot of schools, I don't know the number of schools, but it seems that I hear more about schools that are implementing a block of character learning. So where they're talking about these things. I think a lot of kids don't even know what a growth mindset is. So I thought, every morning I'm going to have a growth mindset quote, and
I like it.
Kind of explain what that is. And I think if you say it long enough and loud enough, that they may actually start believing it. But yeah, if we take make an effort at home with parents when they're in their early childhood stages, and then continue that throughout their educational careers. The students can learn these traits through various character and SEL initiatives.
Yeah.
I think it's important to as we educate teachers and parents on these things, how we praise students is and their success is important. There was I don't know if I would call it a famous study, but there was a study done on how Taiwanese mothers praised their children's successes versus how American, and not say mothers, but mothers and fathers praised their children's successes versus how American parents were praising their kids' successes. And what the study found was that when, through various recordings, as the American parents praised their children for a success, they praised the outcome. You did a good job because you got all A's, or you learned how to play the piano. You can play the piano so well. You're so good at baseball. You're just so talented. The American idea was that we praise the talent, but in Taiwan, the parents were heard praising the effort. So when the child was bragging to his mother about his piano recital, she instantly focused on just remember the hours of practice you put in, all the sacrifices. There were a lot of times you practice the piano instead of playing with your friends or playing your video games or playing baseball or sports. So, I think it's important that we praise the correct thing, not just the outcome. It's great to praise the outcome. That's wonderful too. But make sure we're praising the effort and the grit and the persistence and the failed attempts, and you're picking yourself back up and you're learning from those and you're moving forward. That's what gets you in life.
Yeah, that's awesome. The power of yet, hasn't.
Yeah, that's right. Power of yet.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. So, hey, the end of the announcements, I try to launch with 3 things. You have value, you have impact, what you're doing matters. I appreciate leaders. I appreciate you for all you do. And
as do I you.
Good luck in your new endeavors. And
thank you.
I hope I make it over there sometime to catch up with you in the near future.
Yeah, do so. I look forward to it.
All right, awesome. Hey, signing off.